Starting lineup: Timo, Olaf, Vex, Azrael, Mel up against Ari, Udyr, Morgana, Tristana, Tom. Rating of the picks for a casual game: Timo as a top 4, Vex in mid 9, Azrael in shooter 8, Mel in support 3, Ari as a top 4. Udyr in the jungle 8, Morgana as a mid 9, Tristana in shooter 10, Tom in support 10. Here in this game we're going to be missing a front line. You get that Timo in top, you get Mel in support as Uzada. And so what we're going to end up having to do is to form the bulky stone wall of a tank that will end up facilitating the protective needs for all of these damage dealing types. This Azrael player going to be slowly building up to Muramune as well as Trinity. Eventually this Tahm Kench is going to use the Exhaust Summoner spell. You have Mel missing with the CC ability and then eventually hitting. And like a good toxic support player, we're going to kill steal from the ADC before then eventually Azrael gets the leftovers here. Azrael is apparently a boy and one of the most iconic champs in League of Legends. Get that mystic shot. Azrael fires a skill shot that deals physical damage to the first enemy hit and reduces the cooldown of all his abilities by a percentage. This is his bread and butter, the most consistent poke. Tristana and Tahm Kench are the meta for the amateurs. They are as frightening as you will find in the bottom lane. When you stack both of them on top of each other, plus a willingness to play in both this Spanish Tahm Kench boy and this Tristana boy, you can really only overcome that with a tremendous amount of effort and an unyielding nature as an ADC if you've been sabotaged like this by your own support player. This is of course one of those stereotypical cases of playing the mid laner in the support slot, as I've gone on about for about 20 minutes in Jinx episode 3. This Italian woman controlling Azrael, very clearly a person who made a new account and put down a performance here that we will not see again in this context in a couple of months. Because statistically this should have completely failed. This is pure human will. In this play, mainly a selfish Tahm player, one of your responsibilities in this 5 slot is to form a protective wall in front of your ADC, in this case Tristana. You're seeing Tahm Kench consistently standing behind Tristana here, having her tank for him, which is pointless, will not work, and only leads to fueling enemy coffers. We get the stake down in the mid lane from this Vex player. Vex extremely accessible mid lane mage if you can stand her style and looks. And just the fear and the CC that she can casually dish out lasts so long that the enemy cannot get away. Iconic for Vex is that magic projectile that seems to change pace as it goes out and is expelled, which makes it much harder to dodge. And whether you're gonna be able to dodge Vex or not as a casual largely depends on whether you've recently gone up against her or not. If you haven't played against Vex in some time, you will most likely not be able to dodge her projectiles. We're gonna have this support player kill steal some again, Because one of the things that you know as an aquamarine player with extreme mastery and thousands of hours in the game is that it is an amazing idea to take funds away from Ezrael. You then get comedy, as in visual comedy, as in Metro style One Azeroth TV visual comedy, as this Tristana just flies all over the screen. This is what you get when you pair up this insane mobility with the tactical explosions on the map. We're gonna get one of the very few tactical mishaps as well from this Ezrael in the making, as she is doing the typical Dumbo move of going deeper into enemy territory in an attempt to get away. Typically in League, for casuals and for amateurs, going deeper and deeper into enemy territory automatically means that you're going to get into progressively more problems and conflict. It is a horrible means to run away and something that only works in Assassin's Creed. This segment showcasing 3 things mainly. 1. This Spanish boy, Udyr, going Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia style, backstabbing and coming from behind does not work in League of Legends. Usually what it means is that you have no place to retreat to. The second thing here with this Udyr also is the social excuse of feeling the obligation to have to die for your team and to have to take a death in order to attempt to protect the camp. On a social level, this is misguided because people in the amateurs will not thank you for taking deaths to defend something desperately. And also on a deeper game strategy level, this is misguided. It is much better to try to kite the enemy in this situation, playing out of the fountain area and trying to go back, poke at us, trying to slow us down and heal yourself up with the fountain. Try to keep yourself alive rather than dramatically collapsing into us, which is a fight you could not have possibly won. Then leaving the enemy base without any kind of defense whatsoever as a result. The third thing that this play shows is this Mel player who is being hypercritical of everybody, who is clearly not showing up for the biggest offensive push. A misread from both this Mel player as well as this Teemo player especially. As this Teemo player, it is very irresponsible to not try to support this effort to push into the enemy base, as it could very well have ended the game right there. So that is 1. Don't backstab Udyr. 2. Don't suicide Udyr. And 3. Play as a team, Teemo. We're gonna have this Mel player apparently trying to protect this turret, but at a quite inappropriate time, as this person is simply refusing to play as a team. A bit more push here offensively, and we could have gotten all of the turrets down. This Ragnarok ult, really deep impact on enemy structures, and just such a thing that can change games in the casual environment where solo saves are so frequently necessary. You will get to see some of this burst damage from this Vex player who's capable of leveraging the ultimate. You then get the complete mutual destruction between Ari and Teemo. Further down the line, we get this very drawn out 1v1 as the two junglers, me and the Spanish boy, are going to butt heads in something that could be called quite a beautiful exchange between men. When we take a look at this Team Blue and we try to get a feeling for how well these picks work together, I would have to give this a high C. Vex and Nell do very much the same thing. You're lacking any kind of front line since you have Teemo in the top lane. Because of the Nell pick, Ezreal really does not get to do her default kiting, or at least not properly, as you rely purely on the player skill of the jungler in this lineup, as well as the infinite understanding of this Ezreal player. This is not an example of champions that work well together. The only thing that you can say is that all this magic damage output gives me a lot of wiggle room to go nuts on the AD damage. We take a look at this Team Red. Trying to analyze this lineup, we would have to say AB, because you're missing a front line, in RE as a top, which is really not much more silly than Teemo, in my personal opinion. They're very comparable picks, and it is a pure cultural and subcultural thing that we accept Teemo as a top laner, but here too, the players are going to have very little to hide behind. You do have Tom, and we have to give it a B, pick it up from out of the C gutter because of the fact that your bottom lane synergy is completely perfect on this Team Red, with a dream bot between a Tristana shooter and a Tahm Kench support player. Taking a look then at these individuals, trying to get an understanding for how they interacted with other players, what their behavior was. On this Team Blue, we would have to say the top laner Teemo player, a high C, because you put in effort, you ended up going 8 and 7, you are a patron saint of the Teemo community, your name seems to imply Monsieur Rick Blake, hinting at a kind of reverence for American black people. If I would want to look up what a typical Teemo player was and what it meant for a team, I would want to see your face pop up in the encyclopedia as an answer to that definition. A caricature of a solo player treating League like it's Skyrim, never showed up for anyone, only cared about your own record. We take a look at this Vex player on Team Blue, going 7 and 11 with 12 assists. You ended up going fanatically all-out offensive, as you oughta, going up to the point where an encounter with this Vex player lasted about 2 seconds, with massive outgoing damage on both sides, and as a result this Vex player spent a lot of time watching me while waiting to respawn. I would say a B. You had a good amount of map awareness, and you were capable of seeing that the ultimate victory is more important than your personal idiosyncrasies. Taking a look at this Ezreal player, Gabriella, really not a great personal experience with Italian women called Gabriella in my personal life. Despite that, an amazing performance from this person, going 12, 5, and 10, getting completely sabotaged by her own team in terms of not providing her any of the cover or the support that an Ezreal player typically needs. Essentially, a person with normal effort and a normal attitude cannot even succeed at Ezreal in this manner, because you're effectively being sabotaged the entire time. This is not the way in which Ezreal was meant to be played, is having to face tank the damage the entire time by herself. This type of thing is typically why I quit Jinx. This person was the definition of a team player, ended up tanking me explicitly for my contributions. This player had a very high map awareness. You're making Ezreal under these circumstances look easy, which it is absolutely not. The position that you're playing is one of the most difficult things to do. To succeed in that role without any real support, a clear and obvious A. And one of the better players that we've recently played with. And probably the best Italian woman that I will ever play with in my entire life. We have this Mel player. I would have to say a C. It's a really pathetic attitude to have. You are all of these people's senior. You have thousands of hours of experience more than the other players on your team. You choose to abuse the support position by picking a mid in the support role. You then try to kill snipe from your ADC, and you try to kill steal from this Ezreal player. You end up with a pathetic 5-3, and it's like, dude, first of all, you're putting men and masculinity to shame with this kind of behavior in the first place, but also, if you're going to do something cheap, then at the very least, be good at it. If you're going to build around, steal all the kills for yourself, I would very much like to see a much higher number of kills. If you can't get it done anyway, then what was the point in setting all of this extra stuff up and trying to pretend like Mel is a real support? Taking a look at this RE player on Team Red, going 4-8, I would have to say a high C. Your actions definitely damage the entire Team Red. It's like, why in the hell do this? Just play normally. There's no reason to go into monkey stuff like this. Probably if you had played a serious Garen in this role, your team would have ended up winning. It's just sabotage, and it's unclear why. Now, if you would do it as a form of kind of community protest, you would of course be entirely correct. Meaning, playing RE in the top lane is no more ridiculous than it would be to play Kaylee in the top lane, or to play Teemo in the top lane. They play very much the same in terms of function. We have this Cuervo Udyr player having high mastery on Udyr, going 13-8, doing a lot of covering up for his team here. I would have to say an A. You gave it everything you had, and it was almost enough. You were as valuable as multiple other players combined, and just striking a very good balance here between personal pride, sacrifice for the team, and smart, functional, structural play. Having said that, I think you should learn not to walk into your own death just because other players tell you to. You're a person who operates very much on emotional social guilt. That may, on some level, have a place in higher level professional play when you know your team, but on this level, people will just take advantage of that. I know that because I used to be like that myself. We have this Morgana player going 2-13, very clearly struggling with the controls. And it's like I always say, when you see things like 2-13, what on earth are you doing not getting any tank items, not getting any defensive items? Like I say frequently, guys, it's not because of the fact that you're technically a mage that you're only allowed in the mage tab. That is not how the shop works. Perhaps you need an update on that. I would give this player a B. Morgana is a serious mid. You struggle with your personal skill, but it's not a skill score, it's a behavior score. Taking a look at this Tristana player, ended up going Yuntal, Berserker Greaves, Flicker Blade, Infinity Edge, going 1 and 10 on one of the most overpowered shooters in the game, with an excellent support in Tahm Kench. Really a massive skill issue here. Because of my personal experience with ADCs in the bot lane, I would give this player a B, a very low B. Most definitely, if you're going something like 1 and 10, it is outrageous that you're not looking into getting more defense so that you don't keel over every 5 seconds. That this needs to be explained to you is somewhat puzzling, and indeed it seems like you lack an understanding of almost anything in terms of underlying mechanics within the League of Legends gameplay. We have the Spanish boy Tahm Kench going 9, 2, and 11. I would have to say an A, a low A, because you did at times abandon your team. Tahm Kench is a bit of a sacrificial pawn, and he should not be spotted too frequently walking backwards and walking away from things. You seem to have a fairly low understanding of itemization, but that does not matter because you play Tahm Kench. Yeah, this is an absolute battering ram for a team, obviously, and an asset to almost any team. Playing Tahm Kench in this manner, highly beneficial. Overall, we would have to say a 9, 3, and 4 game. The two main takeaways in this game for me as a Olaf player are that 1, you can provide an absolutely crucial front line on an Olaf when it is missing because of a poor support pick and a poor top lane pick. Number 2, the type of damage that Olaf evolves to deal because of the second spell, as well as the ult, which both accelerate his default basic attack, really help mow down enemy structures, which is such a crucial thing to do in a solo save type of casual game. This is really something that holds champs like RE back significantly, is that they would struggle to mow down enemy structures when in a rush to blitz down the enemy base. You don't have an infinite amount of time in the enemy camp, and being able to contribute in this manner with extreme basic attack damage against structures is really crucial. This game was definitely a bit of a 2v8 in me and this Ezreal player up against the world. I am getting anxious about re-entering ranked play. At the end of the day, we don't have that much time to do anything of significance this year, and from time to time you do have to wonder what the point is of even coming back to quick play. It's kind of goofy. League has to be one of the biggest mind F environments when it comes to prep and run around in the competitive menus, in the sense that the rules are fundamentally different for the ranked play, and so what can you really gain even from practicing? Since you're literally operating under a different rule system in terms of wealth acquisition, spawn times, jungle camps. Really, the casuals more than anything just end up confusing you. It obviously causes a lot of the frustration that we see, and the real reason why there is so much venom in the lowest ranked community and player base. That continuous mystery in terms of assuming as an average 14-year-old child that you're going to get a set of rules that are really on an implicit level totally changed. Taking a look at the scoreboard here, this is typically what you would see on some of the more easygoing melee types, such as Pantheon, and this is all fallout from people playing around more and more with the fighter hybrid, since Ezreal was featured in Worlds multiple times, being built around Trinity. This is difficult to play, it's very fragile, and it's a little bit of a miracle that you can get to 12-5 like this. We see here, despite all my defensive efforts, taking a massive amount of damage compared to some other players. This also points to why it is such a bad thing for a team to have Teemo as a top. It can scarcely be better visualized than this with a perfect side-by-side of the top tank isolation role going 26,000 damage taken. And we have here the marksman, a long-range specialist with 30,000 damage taken. Because when something goes down, Teemo sneaks away and leaves you to die. And that is awful. Especially if there's no TeamSpeak or Discord going on or something to that effect. Moving on.
Minions have spawned.
The might of Lokfar approaches. I'm going. To plunder.
First love. An enemy has been slain.
To action! Some fun! Thunder. Urge to kill rising. I choose this fight. The might of Lokfar approaches. To action! Urge to kill rising.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Shut down.
The might of Lokfar approaches.
Turret plating will soon fall. Slain an enemy.
The might of Lockvar approaches. Plunder.
Has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain.
Urge to kill rising. To action!
Shut down. An enemy has been slain.
I'm going. Action!
Killing spree. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
might of Lockfar approaches. Urge to kill rising.
Slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An ally has been slain.
I'm going. Faster to battle!
Has been slain. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed a turret.
To action! The might of Lockfar approaches. To plunder. I'm going.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
approaches.
An enemy has been slain. Shut down. An enemy has been slain. Shut down.
Urge to kill the prize.
Unstoppable. Your team has destroyed. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
I'm going. To plunder.
The enemy's inhibitor has respawned. Shut down. Dominating. Shut down. Your team has destroyed a turret.
The might of Lockfar approaches.
Shut down.
Urge to kill rising.
Has been slain. Shut down. Double kill. Shut down.
To plunder.
An enemy has been slain.
The might of Lockfar approaches. some fun!
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. The enemy's inhibitor has respawned.
I'm going.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy is unstoppable.
To plunder. The might of Lockbar approaches. To plunder.
An enemy has been slain.
Chop, chop!
An enemy is godlike. Your turret has been destroyed.
Obliteration!
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
The might of Lockbar approaches. I'm going.
Here's a mushroom with your name on it.
Urge to kill rising.
enemy is legendary. Your turret has been destroyed. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your turret has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed. Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Destroyed an inhibitor.
Get this!
He has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Shut down.
I'm going.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.